Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Dr. Glenn Vo, and I am super excited to bring back an old friend that some of you guys might recognize him, but it's been a while. Marcio Prado from United Medical Credit. Marcio, what's up, man?
Hey, how you doing, Dr. Vo? How you doing, everybody? Doing great, thank you.
Man, I'm super excited to bring you back because, man, so much has changed since the last time you were in this group here and you reached out. You're like, hey, Dr. Vo, I mean, there's so many different changes. I mean, the country is kind of, look, I mean, what happened in 2020, who could predict that, right? But again, like our government, all these businesses, we're all coming together because we want to get back to normal, right? So there's a lot of new things, a lot of new news when it comes to financing that has come up with the pipeline that you're going to share with us. But before we go any further, again, if you guys recognize him, he's been on here before. United Medical Credit has hooked us up before. But for those who don't know who he is, we got a lot of new members. For those who don't know who Marcio is, Marcio, who are you? What is United Medical Credit? And what do you guys do for dental practices?
All right. Well, United Medical Credit is a payment option for patient financing. I manage the business development department for United Medical Credit. I've worked with the company going on 7 years now. Wow. So I've worked with a lot of different practices, getting them, familiar with our product, how to present our product, and really just offering full range payment options for patients of all different credit backgrounds.
Yes. And, the thing is that for those who are watching or those who are about to jump on, I mean, the biggest problem we have in dentistry, right? People are like, okay, what's the biggest issue when it comes to case acceptance, right? One of the biggest problems is the patient's ability to pay, right? And if you can just take that one factor out, your case acceptance goes through the roof. So let's talk about this. What makes United Medical Credit different from like a Care Credit or any of these other companies out there?
Yeah, so I agree with you. The payment is the top number one deterrent from keeping somebody from moving forward with treatment, right? Other than being scared of the dentist, of course.
Yes.
But you find a solution for that, you are going to increase your case acceptance, and that's what United Medical Credit does. So, there are other payment options, finance companies out there that can help with that, but not in nearly as deeply as we can. So, United Medical Credit, one of the things we specialize in is full spectrum financing. So we can, and everybody can actually, any other company out there that gives you a call to try to sign you up is going to be able to help the people with great credit. Those people pay their bills. It's no problem. They don't have a history of that. They're going to take on that paper. What we are able to do and what our lending platform does is it works with higher risk applicants. Yeah. So it can help people even if they have less than perfect credit, because you know what, that doesn't necessarily mean they're not going to pay their bills. They might have just run into, especially coming out of the last year.
Coming out of 2020. Think about all the people who lost their jobs or had to. And again, these are not bad people. They just kind of ran into a rough spot. But what ends up happening is they get dinged and then they're stuck. They're stuck for years.
Yeah, it's very common for a temporary financial strain to have long-term effect on somebody's credit. And unfortunately, there's a lot of companies out there that will just say no to them. Yeah. So we increase case acceptance by saying yes to more applicants.
And I love that because, again, for those who are watching, so many of us, we face that all the time. I mean, we have patients who, they're now coming back. They took like a break from seeing us because either they were scared of COVID or maybe financially they weren't there. And now they're back. And now because they haven't been to the dentist in a while, they have all these issues that they know they need to have done, but they can't qualify for maybe, the big lenders there. And I love the fact that you guys are filling a niche there, because what I've seen in the group is, okay, well, if they don't have the credit to do it, I'll just self-finance, right? We'll finance to the practice. But the issue with that is this. Then you become the bank. Then you got to deal with the paperwork. And then you get into that awkward situation if something does happen, right? Again, that's more work on the team. Talk about this, Marcio. For someone who, okay, they want to work with you, how hard is it? Let's just talk about the paperwork here. Do they have to for offices to sign up with United Medical Credit? Do they have to go through an extensive process, or what's the process normally like?
No, it's very, very simple. We've made it as easy as possible for you all. No, it's a one-page registration form. It's sent to the doctor's office via DocuSign. So you go in there, you fill out your practice information, ownership information, banking information, i.e. where we're going to pay you. And a doctor's signature is all we ask for you to fill out, sign up. We usually within 24 hours, you'll have your account set up and business development manager assigned to you to train your office staff how to log into our portal, submit applications. And that's about the extent of our enrollment process.
And once they get enrolled, once they kind of talk to their enrollment specialists, once they do all that stuff, could they at that point offer United Medical Credit as a financing source to the patients at that point?
Look, if you sign up, if you fill out a registration form today, by tomorrow, you could start submitting applications.
I love that. I love that. I love that. So again, for those who are watching right now, we face this all the time, right? Okay, yeah, patients are scared. That's one thing. But being able to pay, being able to afford the dentistry that they need, that's one of the biggest obstacles to case acceptance. That's why I'm super happy that you guys are here. And again, you got a lot more stuff to tell us, but I kind of want to talk about the background of United Medical Credit and why you guys are here. But again, if you can have a way to help those patients pay, then again, that's like half the battle. Then at that point, all you got to do is do the good dentistry that you're supposed to do. Okay, so Marcio, before we kind of talk about all the new things coming up, now talk about some of the patients, because now, everyone's wondering, okay, well, when he's talking about high risk, how high risk, right? Yeah. Like my definition of high risk might be totally different from what you guys do. So can you just lay out a few scenarios of like certain high risk, accounts that the bigger lenders will not even touch, will not even look at, that you guys really want to help these people and you guys take those cases on?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's
talk couple of examples.
Yeah, let's talk first about who the bigger finance companies out there will accept, right? A paper, credit scores and 675 plus range, right? Yeah. Basically people with, and something to think about is these people with higher levels of credit like that, they don't usually need financing. I mean, they may ask about it, but they usually have a credit card in their wallet they can just put it on, right? So when you're offering financing, when you're offering a payment solution, you usually are talking to people who are a little bit higher risk, a little bit lower credit. So what we consider mid-prime would be credit scores down to about 620. We have solutions for that. And then on the subprime end, all the way to scores in the 570 range and up. That's how deep we are able to go. Wow. So we offer coverage of about 100 points lower than what other finance companies out there are able to help with.
And that's huge because, again, I would say, Marcia, wouldn't you say that most of America are kind of like in the middle of those two levels?
Absolutely, especially right now. A lot of consumers have had to, due to whether it's job loss or their company cutting pay, things like that, have to depend on using their credit cards more, which that impacts your credit. All of a sudden, you don't have the credit limit to be able to just put something like dental work off. So what do you have to do? You have to put it off. Well, you don't want them to put it off. You want to be able to help them with treatment now. So that's what this does for them. If they have less than perfect credit, you don't want to just turn them away or, alluding to what you're saying, put them on your books where you have to become the debt collector to that customer. No, you want to empower that customer to feel that they have the resource to pay for the treatment that they want.
Now, a big question that most people ask is, well, how much can UMC actually finance? Because again, some of these patients that they come in, they have a good amount of work that needs to be done. Maybe it's a family. In between the family, it's so much work that needs to be done within the whole family. What amounts has UMC financed up to? Is there like a cap? Is there a limit? And also, what is like the average amount that you guys normally do?
So in a majority of cases, we're able to go up to $25,000.
Oh, wow. Okay.
In some cases, we are able to go up to $35K. We can make an exception on that. But I would say $25,000 is usually the max. On average, our loans, well, you know what? On average, our loans are whatever your patient needs. If if our lenders typically are very good about meeting the sale, meaning if your customer needs $18,000 worth of work, if they approve them, they're going to give them $18,000. However, I will add to that if it's a case where the lender does not approve them for the full amount, we don't just turn them away. They still get offered the partial amount so that they can move forward with some treatment if possible.
Yeah. And I think that's really big because, again, something again, maybe the patient just needs a little help, right? Maybe they don't need the whole thing there. And the fact that it's not like a all or none situation is really helpful here. Now, I do know this because, Marcio, we've talked many times and I talked to the team over there, but can you explain to all our listeners and all our viewers right now how United Medical Credit works? Because a lot of times people may think like, well, is United Medical Credit the bank? Are you guys the lender? Are you guys like footing the bill? Explain kind of like how that works, how you work with different lenders and match them with the right thing. And I think that's what's really unique about you guys. It's not like, okay, you guys are the bank here. No, you guys are kind of like our representative to help get our patients financed. You guys are like our allies in this thing. So can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So United Medical Credit, we are more of a financial marketplace. Mm-hmm. Okay, we have several lenders that we work with. And when you submit an application through our platform, what we do is we instantly match that customer with the best lender option. So we have a prime lender in the background. I mean, your customer in your office, your offices, they won't see the background, gears turning. It's an instant thing. You submit the application with us and we match them with a lender. But there are multiple lenders that we're able to work with to increase the number of approvals we're able to get. So if you have someone with pristine credit, we're going to be able to match them with a lender who's going to be able to offer the best terms of anybody in our platform. If they're less than perfect, we're not going to send them to that lender because that's our prime lender. They work with prime. So, but we have those, we have lenders in place that help the mid-prime to subprime as well. And this, like I said, the greatest thing is this all happens instantly. You submit an application, it thinks for 5 seconds, and then here's your offer. And your customer is able to get linked up directly with that lender right there.
And I think that's really important that you said that because, again, the biggest issue is that, okay, you have a patient there, they accept the treatment plan, they want to do it. And then the worst thing that could happen is, oh, God, Mrs. Jones, I'll let you know in a couple of days, right? In a couple of days, Mrs. Jones is doing something else. So
that's the worst place to lose a customer, right? You already put in so much
you already
work.
Got them there. Yeah. So Marcio, again, let's just make this, make this clear for everyone. So normally it's pretty instantaneous. Maybe I wouldn't say like right away, but again, like within that appointment, within the patient staying there. Has there ever been like situations where you had to wait a couple of days?
Well, it depends. If a customer does say they want to look over the terms, they can always come back. Our applications are good for 30 days. They don't expire.
30 days. Okay.
If a customer does have to go back to it, I mean, that's the customer's, they have the right to think about it if they like. However, if they're ready to move forward, any loan under $20,000 with us, all they need is a signature and to submit a copy of their ID.
Wait, hold up. You have to say that one more time because, again, most of the time we have to get some kind of income verification. We got to do, there's been times where we actually had to get something from the employer. And it's just each time you put an obstacle there, it makes it harder and harder to close the case. The patient feels bad. They don't want to do it. They don't want to jump through all the hoops. So you just said all it takes is a signature and ID. Is that what you said? I just want to make sure I heard that correctly.
Yeah, and this has changed too. So any viewers who are here from the last,
so this is a new thing. Now, why is things so much more flexible now? What do you think? Is it because like they're just trying to get the country going again, or what do you think?
No, actually, we've taken measures to help reduce risk with our lender. The lenders that we have on our platform, we have a relationship with. We're not just sending them. There's companies out there who they basically take the application, take the social, and run it through a whole bunch of credit card companies. We actually have a dedicated relationship with our lenders, and we've taken measures to reduce risk to them. What that means for them is that they can be a little more risky with their lending.
They trust you guys. They see that you guys are doing it the right way. So now they're trying to make your lives easier.
Exactly. So now they're able to help more people with more challenged credit with less documentation to verify. So yeah, in most cases,
that just makes things faster in the office. Then
absolutely.
You got an ID, you can sign your name, you're ready to rock and roll.
Exactly.
Oh man, I love
payment
that.
plan look? Hey, looks good. Great. Sign. Let me get a copy of your ID. Let's get you in a chair.
All right, Marcio. So I got some hard questions for you. Ready for this, man?
Let's go.
Okay. And this is the big one. This is the big elephant in the room, right? Is okay, well, we're financing all these patients. Most of the patients, they're going to pay their bills and everything's going to go great. But there's going to be one. There's going to be one out there, right? That's like that defaults. I want to know this. If that happens, right? And hopefully it doesn't, right? But if it happens, right? Is the office going to be on the hook for that? Because again, that's what everyone's wondering right now when you're dealing with certain certain accounts, right? Are we going to be on the hook on it? Because again, I can tell you right now, people who are self-financing it in your practice, you're doing your own finance plan. Yeah, you pretty much lost it there. Okay, you got to send them collection. You got to deal with it, right? Now, if we were going with you guys, are we going to be on the hook for those things?
So here's the great thing. We keep talking about higher risk customers, if we will. Well, the entire amount of the risk is being assumed by the lender, not by the practice. As long as the practice provides treatment, that's the doctor's only responsibility, is to provide the treatment we're paying you for. As long as the doctor provides treatment, the risk is 100% on the lender. If the patient defaults, doesn't make payments, anything like that, the provider is in no way liable for a chargeback.
And we don't have to call the patients on the lender's behalf. We don't have to hunt them down for you guys. We don't have to send reports saying, hey, we called them X amount of times.
Nope, absolutely not.
Well, there you go, guys. Again, that's always the big question, right? It's like, is this too good to be true? Does this mean that I have to be on the hook and chase these people down and whatnot? Hopefully that doesn't happen, right? Hopefully you have a good relationship with them. But again, if it happens, then you just heard it right here. We got him on video. Okay, he says that the lender, there's no takebacks there, Marcio. No takebacks.
You hold me to it.
Yes, absolutely. So another thing too is, again, let's talk about the financials, okay? Let's talk about the financials, and let's talk about why, even though there's a fee involved, it's still a no-brainer. Now, guys, here's the thing. United Medical Credit, they have an amazing service. They're going to help you take care of some patients who, to be honest, some lenders have turned their back on them. They turn the back on them. They have nowhere else to go. Then, most of the time you guys have to finance it or whatnot, or maybe they don't get the treatment done. But here's an opportunity to have a company that's going to put us with the right lenders to take care of our patients. Now, nothing is free, okay? Nothing is free. Now, we do have a Nifty deal, but nothing is free there. So let's just talk about the fees involved to use United Medical Credit. And then let's talk about why, honestly, I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great deal because you wouldn't be closing these cases anyways. Let's talk about, so you've talked to a lot of doctors, right? And they've said something, and I want you to kind of walk us through what you normally tell those practices. So talk about the fee and talk about, why it's not that big of a deal.
So to start off with the fee, by the way, more good news, more good changes have been made.
Oh, I love it. I love this good news.
We're offering an even more nifty deal than before. And wow. The rate has actually gone down for providers that sign up with this deal at 6.99%. Okay. That is a merchant fee. That's the doctor's fee, and it's the only fee that the provider pays. There's no maintenance or enrollment or monthly fees whatsoever. So
there's no sign-up fee, no enrollment fee, and there's no fee that you have an annual maintenance fee that we got to keep paying for.
Correct. So and when it comes to how this benefits the doctor, I mean, in so many ways, other than the obvious of, hey, guess what? This person would have walked out your door if you didn't offer this payment solution. So you're getting 93% of the treatment cost versus 0% of none of that customer's money, right? But we're also providing solutions to different levels of credit. If you're currently taking on the paper for the people who your primary finance company says no to, you are taking on basically nothing but higher risk customers too. So I've talked to so many dentists, so many different types of offices actually who are using in-house financing, and they say we got to stop. We're losing money here. We're doing all the treatment and getting 20% of the money and before that person stops paying their bill.
Yeah.
So we are, our lenders take on that financial responsibility to collect from the customer, and the office is left with the only focusing on only providing quality treatment,
just doing the treatment. And I love that, and I love how you put that out there, right? Is because you got a couple of choices here in most of these situations. You can get zero, or you get the majority, right?
Yeah.
Without risk. Now, could you do your own in-office financing? Yeah, you can. But here's the thing: not only you get the risks, then it's also the paperwork. It's also the staff time, because what if things don't work out, or maybe they didn't make a payment? Who has to call them? Your staff does, right? That costs you money. By the time that you tabulate everything, with staff working extra, with spending that extra time, with the stress, again, 6.9 is such a small price to pay. I can tell you right now, what you're paying your team to keep up with your in-off finance. I mean, again, there's no reason to do that when you have a company like United Medical Credit to work with you guys there. Okay, so Marcio, again, people are probably getting super excited about this. Let's walk through how to sign up again. So we're gonna put some links in the comments as well to go to the website. But what's the easiest way to kind of get signed up with you guys? Call you guys, email you guys, walk us through that.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's the link. If you follow the link in Dr. Vo's website there, it'll take you right to a form. You can fill out your contact information, simple name, number, email, and our enrollment department will reach out to answer any further questions you have and help you get set up. You can also contact our office directly and press 2 for the enrollment department. They can answer any questions that you may have, or you could contact our enrollment department at enroll@unitedmedicalcredit.com.
I love it. I put the link in there, and I'll get some more links as well. I'll even drop Marcio's email in there. You guys can just blow up his inbox there. So Marcio, there's something we're focused on. Obviously, we're in the Nifty Thrifty group, and there's mainly dental professionals in here. We've been talking about dentistry, but you guys actually do financing, not just for dentistry. You do it through healthcare. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And so I want to throw something out there, right? So again, like for when patients are coming in and whatnot, and maybe they have a lot of things going on. Is there situations where the patient can get some financing for the dental work and maybe use some financing for other stuff that they need that's health related?
Well, actually, with one of the things that a lot of our providers like is that they won't have a situation where a patient gets a line of credit through their office and then takes it to go get cosmetic surgery somewhere, right? When our providers, when they submit an application, our payment goes directly to them. It's not in a line of credit they can go take and use somewhere else once
that's so good, because again, I'm not going to mention any names, but that's how one company works. And it's like, hey, you got approved for this, and what happened, man?
Yeah.
I used it for, I needed something else. And then they can't do the treatment. So when they get approved, that's for us.
Exactly. Right? And not just different markets, but also maybe a different dentist in your competition area that they want to go to and take that. With us, it has to be our enrolled merchant that we pay, and the application that comes in is linked to that provider.
That is so huge, because again, it's like if we partner up with you guys and trusted you guys, I mean, it just feels good that they can't just take this and go, hey, I'm going to go down the street and try to use it over there.
Absolutely.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so let's talk about what you have seen as far as offices when they kind of reach out to you guys. Like, can we go over what's the frequently asked questions other than the things that I just said? Obviously we talked about, hey, when can I start getting things financed? When can I, am I on the hook for things? Those can they take this and go somewhere else? What other questions have doctors asked you when they reached out to you?
Well, obviously, doctors care about their patients' rate as well, so they want to know, what are my patients going to be charged?
Yeah.
So our loans are installment loans.
Okay.
They're different from a line of credit, which other companies out there that's what their credit card. What our loans are, it's an installment fixed APR loan. So the patient's rate will range from 12.99% to 23.99%. That's another change that our platforms.
Yeah, because it used to be a little bit higher, right?
Yes, it used to actually, and this is more, of course, for the higher risk applicants. It used to go up to 35.99%. Our lenders have capped it at 23.99%.
Oh, wow.
So, which is competitive with what you're going to get with any credit card out there.
Well, yeah, I was about to tell you. I mean, again, like those percentages. I mean, there's some credit cards. I mean, again, that go up way up past that sometimes. And again, if most patients, they understand, it's very similar to what the rates are. In fact, a little bit lower than some credit cards.
Exactly. So we're helping you with case acceptance, and our lenders' rates are helping you with loan acceptance. So better rates for the customer. It's also it's not a revolving line of credit. So it's we do fund the doctor for a specific amount of the treatment plan. So when you submit an application to us, you just let us know how much that treatment plan is going to cost, and we write a loan for that specific amount. With that said, one of the things that is a benefit to us with the way our loans are structured is that versus a credit card or a line of credit that someone might take out for, let's say, an $11,000 treatment plan, they're not going to be maxing out a line of credit when they use the financing. Some customers, especially if they're more sensitive to their credit, understand that if they go through a type of credit card type of loan, they're going to be maxing out their line of credit right away to affect their credit. These are installment loans. They're not going to have that type of negative effect on the customer's credit. So it's an additional benefit to the customer as well.
That is huge. I'm so glad that you laid that out, because again, so many times patients are worried about those things, and literally, look, you guys are here to help them just get that treatment, and that's it, right? You're not trying to pile things on there. Okay, so before we log off here, I want to go through really quickly why it makes sense to work with you guys, and so I want to go through it really quickly, and you can kind of add on to it. So the biggest thing is that there's some other companies out there that you can use for patient financing, but they only finance certain patients. So explain that, and explain where you guys fill in the void there.
So you said it. They only work with top tier credit. That's
Would you call them like you didn't call them A-listers, right? What'd you call? You had a term for that for those.
It's prime credit.
Prime credit. There you go.
So that and who won't work with prime credit? Like I said, that customer probably has 2 or 3 credit cards in their wallet that
they probably don't even need financing.
Exactly. Who needs financing is the customers who are looking for payment options, because they either don't have the cash to pay for it, and don't have those different options in their wallet already to pay for it, right? So this is going to provide coverage for your customers who have even from slightly less than perfect credit all the way down to what is considered quite subprime credit scores in 570 range and up. So it provides full range coverage for credit applications.
And another big thing that we talked about earlier, and again, I want to kind of recap this, is everyone's always worried about, okay, so if we're financing certain patients with lower credit score, there's risk of default, and is that going to come back on us? The answer to that, Marcio, is what?
Absolutely not. No,
absolutely not.
Providers' only responsibility is to provide the treatment. Anything regarding payment or paying the loan back, that's between the lender and the patient.
Okay. And then, obviously, everything sounds really good, right? I'm telling you guys, it sounds really good, and it is true. It's not too good to be true. Now, we're going to talk about there is some fees involved, okay? But there's only one fee. And Marcio, what is that one fee? And is there a sign-up fee? Is there a maintenance fee? All those other fees that we get nickel and dime all day long. Talk about the fees and talk about the other fees, if there's any.
Well, first of all, there are no monthly fees, no enrollment fees. The only fee that there is the merchant fee discount. So, let's talk about that. That's a discount in and of itself. You're getting a deal there. It's 6.99%. Now, normally our rate is 10%.
Yeah.
That's what we charge our providers. But through this group, you're going to get over 30% off of that fee and only pay 6.99%, and that's locked in. It won't change down the line. It won't change.
There's no other fees that you slide in later if we have like a difficult patient or something.
Nope, none whatsoever.
I love that. And then finally, and then this makes it a no-brainer. We always want to get financing. We have the patient in the chair, right? And they're like, okay, let's go through this. And the biggest problem, the biggest way to just kind of throw like water on this fire here is, Mrs. Jones, you're going to have to wait a couple of days before I can give you an answer. Well, Mrs. Jones is walking out the door and she's never looking back there. But with United Medical Credit, when do we get a notification if the patient qualifies for financing? How fast?
You get an instant notification if they qualify with, and this is something for the customer, no hard credit check. It's a soft pull to see if they qualify. It won't affect their credit. They'll see if they have an offer available. If they want to move forward with that offer, all they have to do is sign contracts, submit a photocopy of an ID, and the provider is paid within 24 hours.
So the only thing, again, I want you guys to listen to that, okay? Because we're so used to having, literally, we have to get like a background check on some people, right? All United Medical Credit is needing from your patient is a signature and an ID. Is that correct, Marcio?
That's correct, yes. In a majority of cases, that's the only thing under $20,000. That if over $20,000, the lender will ask for some additional documentation. But under $20,000, our lenders will only ask for a copy of an ID and a signature.
I love it. I love it. Guys, it's a no-brainer, right? I just walked it through. It is such a no-brainer. But you know what? We have a question real quick. We have a question. How does it work do you guys need a cosigner, or how does that work with a cosigner?
Yeah, so the application does allow for a second applicant to be added. So if you have someone apply and they don't qualify, or they want to apply with, let's say, their spouse, they can certainly do that. One of the major benefits of our new STIPS requirement under 20,000 is that they can claim household income too. So if let's say you have a homemaker who's applying for treatment for themselves, and they want to apply, but they want to claim their spouse's income. Sure. As long as it's under 20,000, our lenders will accept household income as well. But if they want to use the credit of the spouse or family member, or in case this is what the question was about, you can add anybody as a second applicant. Wow. And we'll use the person with the better credit to get the approval.
Wow, that's huge, because again, everyone has a different situation, and again, we came out of something crazy, right? Where people weren't working, where people maybe lost their job, when people were probably sick and they're getting back on their feet and they're employed again, they're working again, but yet they got dinged for something that happened, right? Yeah, that maybe wasn't in their control. So I love the fact that you guys have changed things up a little bit, and I love the fact that that you guys have this service here. Now, the last thing is, you guys are probably watching, you're probably wondering, well, man, it's probably like a pain in the butt to go through. It's probably like a long application. I probably have to wait forever to get approved, and I probably have to wait forever to actually be able to offer this. Marcio, that's not true, and tell them why that's not true.
No, it's a one-page application. We only ask for very basic practice information, where the practice is located, contact information, ownership information, but very basic. And where are we going to pay you? Your banking information. It's a one-page form. It takes 10 minutes to fill out. Once you submit that, which is submitted via DocuSign, so there's no printing, signing, faxing. You just do it all through the computer. You click to sign. Your account is set up within 24 hours. And someone will reach out. You'll have a dedicated business development manager assigned to your practice as well, to make sure they answer all your questions, train your staff on how to log into the portal. You'll be set up, the next day to start submitting applications.
There you go, guys. It's a no-brainer. It's the applications is really short. You'll get accepted into the group right away. And then as far as when your patients need actual financing, once you're up and running 24 hours, Marcio, you can actually start offering it to your patients right away.
Right away. Correct.
Right away. And then we already know about the process of getting your patients approved and whatnot. It doesn't take that long. It's a no-brainer, guys. So Marcio, before I let you go, there's one little thing here, and that is, again, if they want to sign up, if they want to start offering the services from United Medical Credit, what's the best way to do it? Well, there's multiple ways. So talk about all the ways that they can reach out to you and your team to get signed up. I got a link. I put the website. We got the website. What else?
There's a website. There's the link. Follow that link. That'll actually go to a landing page. They'll let you know you're coming through the Nifty Thrifty group, and you'll make sure to get that deal. If you go to our homepage, you can go to sign up there as well. You want to mention that you heard of us from Nifty Thrifty Dentists to get the special offer on the merchant fee. You can also contact us directly via our 800 number, also located on our website. And Dr. Bill, why don't you put my email address on there as well?
I'm actually blow up his inbox. Marcio likes it. And again, guys, when you reach out to them, just tell them that you heard them through the Nifty group, so you can get the Nifty price there. But Marcio, before we log off, anything you want to say to the group before we log off here?
No, I'm just very excited about some of these changes we've made. They're all there. They're all to help both the practice and the customer, get a better deal and make the process smoother and faster. So I'm excited to hopefully, re-engage some people we talked to. I think before the pandemic when we last did this webinar, and some of your new users. So
yeah, thank you so much, and I'm so glad that I get you back on here, because all these new changes here. I mean, it really is going to help all of us as dental practice owners, but it's really going to help these patients out. And again, you guys probably have a long list of patients who have been putting off their treatment because of finances. Well, reach out to United Medical Credit, right? Go through that list. If you get just 25%, let's say, and I'm just going low, if you get 25% of all those patients, right, to do the treatment that they need, think about how much more production that is, and think about how much more good. That's all you got to think about, right? So again, we spend so much money to market for new patients. I mean, again, most of the budget, most practices spend between 10 to 20% on marketing, okay? I want to give you a marketing tip right now. Sign up for United Medical Credit, go through your list of patients with treatment, and offer this. And I promise you that's going to give you more ROI than you doing a $30,000 marketing campaign. Okay, you got the patients, they're there. You got their phone number. It's even easier, and now you got the tool to give them the treatment. So again, Marcio, thank you so much, my friend. And guys, you're gonna see more of him, because again, this is such a big thing. I'm gonna have to drag him back in, and we'll do more of these. So Marcio, thank you so much.
Absolutely, you got it. Thanks, Dr. Bo.
See you guys later.